Hi, boys and girls. It's Mr. Yates and Miss Garcia, and in this video, we're going to be going over the answers to math lesson assignment 11.2. And we're going to go ahead and go over the answers, and then we'll explain to you a little bit of how we calculated them out. I also have up here the customary units of length chart, so you can kind of just as a reminder of how we convert each of the units. So first of all, for number one, we got 5 miles equals 8,880 yards. And we did that basically by taking 5 miles, and because we're going from a bigger unit of measurement to a smaller unit of measurement, we're going to multiply. And I'm going to look over here at my customary units of length chart, which I just Googled. And it sounds like 1 mile equals 1,760. So I just multiplied 5 times 1,760 and ended up with 8,880 yards. So that's how I solved the first one. Ms. Garcia, how did we figure out the second one?
All right, so for the second one, it says 7 yards equals 252 inches. So just like Mr. Yates was saying, since we are going from a bigger unit of measurement to a smaller unit of measurement, we are going to be multiplying. And using that handy dandy chart, it looks like there are 36 inches in 1 yard. So you have to multiply your 36 inches by your 7 yards. And that should get you to your 252 inches.
Great. Now, we did have a couple comments about the number 3, where it said 150 yards or 150 inches equals blank yards. The correct answer was 4 1/6 yards, and the question was, how did you get that? So let me show you what we did to solve that. I am going to be going from inches to yards. So I'm going from bigger to smaller. I know I have 150 inches. So what I ended up doing was I said here again, oh, it's the same unit of measurement, which is good. Then I have to get rid of that. Oh, I just got rid of the graphic. Oh no, what weird thing did I pull up on a link? All right, let's go back. And 1 yard equals 36 inches. So I'm going to be going from bigger or smaller unit to a bigger, so I'm going to be dividing. I'm going to take the 150 inches and I'm going to divide that by 36 inches in 1 yard. When I do that, boys and girls, I do end up with 4, and I end up with, so I multiply it out here. I'll just do some quick multiplying to remind myself what to do, 24. So I end up with 144. When I subtract that, I get a remainder, and that's what sort of got some kids a little freaked out. They saw that remainder and like, well, what do I do? It doesn't go in evenly. Here's the issue here. You're going to show remainders as fractions, and I think we might have mentioned a little bit of that. If not, we're sorry about that. I want to explain it to you now, though, so you understand. This 6 becomes 6 over 36. So the amount is 4 and 6 over 36 yards. But that doesn't seem like it's been simplified, Ms. Garcia. Does it seem like it's simplified to you?
Nope, it looks like it definitely has to be simplified.
I guess especially since the answer is 4 1/6, we can definitely tell that we're going to do some simplifying here. So I'm going to divide that by 6, the top and the bottom, and that will end up with 4 1 over 6 yards, or 4 1/6 yards. So that explains how we got that. And unless they're giving you a problem like this one down here, now let me go ahead and do some annotation here so you can see what I'm talking about. Unless they're doing ones where they give you like the 9 feet and 2 inches, they give you place for inches and feet, you can use the remainder that way. But if they don't, show the remainder as a fraction of a yard or whatever unit of measurement they're talking about. All right. And so what about number 4, Ms. Garcia? We just talked a little bit about
All right. So for number 4, it says 110 inches equals blank feet and blank inches. So you guys should have gotten 9 feet and 2 inches. And since we are going from a smaller unit of measurement, which is our inches, to a bigger unit of measurement, which is our feet, and the inches on next to the 9 feet and the 2 inches right there, that is going to be your guys', that's like hint, hint, you guys are going to have a remainder. So you're going to want to divide your 110 by your 12 because there's 12 inches in 1 foot, just like Mr. Yates wrote. So that should have given you 9. It should have been able to go in 9 full times, and then you guys should have ended up with a remainder of 2. And that remainder 2 goes in that inches slot, just like they did. So you should have gotten 9 feet, 2 inches.
Okay, a little slow on the drawing there. I was trying to get that while you're saying that. So the 9 feet and 2 inches. All right, so number 5 is going to be taking 8 yards into inches. And in this one, we're going to be going from yards to inches, which means that we're going from a bigger unit of measurement to a smaller unit of measurement. And right up here again, it's the 1 yard equals 36 inches. So since I'm going from bigger to smaller, I'm going to be multiplying. So I'm going to be taking that 8 yards and I'm going to be multiplying it by 36 inches in 1 yard. And that's where I get 288 inches. All right, let's go and take a look at number 6.
All right, so number 6 says, is that a comma or a decimal? That's a comma, right?
That
We're
is
at
a comma. It's
13,000.
13,200 feet.
Okay, sorry, just wanted to double check. So 13,200 feet equals blank miles. So you guys should have gotten 2.5 miles. And since you're going from a small unit of measurement to a bigger unit of measurement, you want to divide. So you are going to divide your 13,200 feet. And you're going to be using the very bottom one on our chart. It says 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. So you're going to be dividing your 13,200 and you're going to divide it by 5,280. And once you guys divided that out, you guys should have gotten 2.5. So he's going to go ahead and show you guys that. Divide it out. So goes in twice, kind of a given because we got the answer right there. It's really helpful.
It is. So if I double this up, I just want to show you how I ended up with it. So it's 0, 16. The other one is 5. Okay, the one more time is 11,560. So it goes 0, 3, 12 minus 5 is 7, 2, 1. So 1,730 is my leftover. I drop down another 0 because I'm going to add a decimal here. And I know it's a little confusing, boys and girls, because on the top one, the answer is given as a fraction. And on the number 6, it's giving it to you as a decimal. That is something that I just noticed. So I'll tell you this. If you went ahead and if I multiply this out times 5, I get 1,700 or 17,300. So I have a remainder now of 0. So I have 2 5/10 miles, which is what the answer is on the answer sheet here. Pro tip, boys and girls, if you also did this out 1,730 and you see the 0.5, the 0.5 right here is the same as 1/2. So if you ended up saying 2 1/2 miles, that's going to be okay too, because 0.5 is the same thing as 1/2. They're the same amount. So either way is okay. I just wanted to let you know that because it was a little confusing on the way the book answers these. So I want to avoid that confusion. We're going to go and move on now to, and I want to make this a little bit bigger. So I want to cover up my customer units of measurement here and go on to some vocabulary, which is here, which of the following is not a common unit of measurement for the customer system? And the correct answer here is meter. And a meter is what's called the metric system. The other ones are customary, or the ones that we use in America only. So feet, inches, and miles are customary, meter is not. And then what about number 8, Ms. Garcia?
All right, so number 8 says, which operation is necessary to convert a smaller unit to a larger unit? Now, boys and girls, we kind of wrote down that chart for you guys as well. We've been trying to say it for every single example that we do, but you guys should be using division when you're going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, because it would not be multiplication. Some of you guys might have put that, but that is when you're going from a bigger one to a smaller one. So the key word was smaller unit to a larger unit. So you should have had division.
You got it. All right, we're going to scroll on down to our brain builders. Ty has 2 pieces of wood shown in the table. What is the combined length of the pieces in inches? And as you notice on this one, the trap of this is, and I'm just going to put a little mark in here. Oh, I don't have this in. I've got too many things layered over. So let me just go ahead and get my annotation up here. The trap thing that I've noticed about this, boys and girls, is that the unit of measurements are different. Here it says 1 yard, 9 inches. So we've got yards and inches, and this one's got 44 inches. So my goal here is I have to combine these or turn these all into inches. I think that'd be a little bit easier to do than trying to turn the 44 inches into yards. So what I'll do is I'll turn the 1 yard and 9 inches. And I do that by doing this, by turning this into inches. What I'll do is I don't need to turn the 9 inches into inches, it's already inches. So I'll drop down the 9. The 1 yard though, I'm going to, well, it's just 1 yard. So I'm gonna think back to my handy dandy chart, which is 1 yard equals 36 inches. So now I know that 1 yard and 9 inches is equal to 36 inches plus 9 inches, which is 45 total inches. So the length of piece 1, boys and girls, is going to be 45 inches. So piece 1 is 45 inches. And piece 2, well, that's already in inches. So I'm going to go ahead and just add in that 44 right here. And that's how I end up with 89 inches as my total amount. Boys and girls, also pro tip, we really do like to have you guys start working on answer sentences. So I would ideally like you guys to write the combined length is. Normally you'd have it on the piece of paper, but here if you just write it on your piece of paper that you're using, that'd be great. 89 inches. The reason why I do this is because a lot of times kids will ask me, they don't understand the word problem, and I'll say, did you write an answer sentence? And then when they write an answer sentence, they're like, oh, I get it now. So it really does help. And Ms. Garcia, do you want to bring it home with number 10?
Yep. All right. So this one says, Lily built an orange shelf and a brown shelf to hang in her room. The orange shelf is 5 feet, 8 inches long. The brown shelf is twice as long. What is the length of the brown shelf? So boys and girls, you guys should have ended up with 11 feet, 4 inches. And but we want, like Mr. Yates said, we do want you guys to be using answer sentences. So he's writing one out for you guys. So a good one is the length of the brown shelf is, and then your 11 feet, 4 inches. And so your very first step for this is going to be to figure out what that 5 feet, 8 inches is doubled. So, and from there is what you're going to do is you're going to want to convert all of it into inches. So, kind of like Mr. Yates did on that previous one, you are going to be taking that 5 feet and 8 inches. And since we're converting it into inches, you don't have to do anything with your 8 inches. You can just add it. And then we're going to be using the measurement of 12 inches are in 1 foot. So to where you multiply your 5 times your 12, which would give you your 60, just like Mr. Yates has with that arrow pointing down. And then you have to add that 60 to your 8 inches. And then remember, they said the brown shelf is twice as long. So then you have to multiply that answer, which is your 68, by your 2, which would give you your 136 inches. But then, boys and girls, they want you guys to convert it back to feet as well as inches. So since you're going from a smaller unit of measurement to a bigger unit of measurement, you have to divide. So you take your 136 inches and you divide it by your 12, which should give you guys your 11 feet, and your guys' remainder, which is your 4, would be your inches. So 11 feet, 4 inches.
All right, great. So they do make you do a little bit of bonus work on that one. So make sure that you're checking all your work if you made any mistakes, sort of see where you might have went wrong. Right here, boys and girls, we have our test practice. The table shows the name of each volunteer and the height of the baby elephant each volunteer measured. Who measured the tallest elephant? Now, if you look at these, you notice that you got some in inches, you got some in yards, some in feet, and some in inches and feet. So basically what you want to do here is you want to change these all into the same unit of measurement. George turned out to be the largest, measured the largest elephant, because 2 yards is 36 inches times 2, which is 72 inches. And that's going to be bigger than Kelsey, who's only at 68 inches for her elephant. Mariah's 5 feet is only 60 inches for her elephant. And Brian's elephant is 60 plus 10, which is 70 inches. So all these elephants here are less than the big boy, George's elephant of 72 inches. So that's why he has the tallest elephant. If you wrote just the word George on this one, it's okay, because it is kind of like a fill in the blank one. So that's all right. But normally I like to do answer sentences for these. So boys and girls, that's the those are the answers for today's or for yesterday's homework assignment. Please make sure that you fill out the survey that I put at the next step on this agenda today, so we know that you did it. We also know where you went and needed had any mistakes, and also tell us if you had any problems. And as always, email Mr. Yates and Ms. Garcia if there's something that you're really confused about and just need our help on. Thanks, boys and girls.